Hello, everybody. With me today is Nick Coston. Nick, hi.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you gentlemen doing?
We're good. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Nick is well known as an industry evangelist. I'll say the word veteran, but that always means that he's old. But you can tell from this picture that he's not really old. But he's also an industry economist. He's well fed. He's got well fed. He's well followed.
Yes, I am.
He doesn't look well fed. He looks in good shape there. Well followed on Twitter, well known in the industry. His opinion is much sought after. We're going to talk to him today about Miami. But Nick, you've got a new sort of career at the moment. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to the last month or so?
Sure. So I had been involved in kind of observing from the outside world programmatic and digital advances in out of home. It started like 7 years ago when I was one of the first people at AdMobilize, the camera tech company. And I got involved then because camera tech was really more for digital screens than it was for static. So I got involved and I went to like 5 or 6 digital signage expos in Las Vegas, joined and was very involved with DPAA in New York. I think I did a cold call on Barry Frey like 6 or 7 years ago. I just walked in and go, "What are you guys?" Because I had been in OAAA for years. I never heard of them. Mm-hmm. And so the growth from all these organizations has been terrific. So I've always been kind of an outsider. And towards the end of my static career, after about 22 years in more traditional out of home, I thought I needed to do more. And I got into conversations last October attending Digital Signage Week in New York. And the final event I went to was your event, which was awesome. And it was so good because by the time I showed up, I pretty much knew everyone there from all the years of just showing up. And I thought, okay, I need to up my game. Either that or I'm going to be in traditional out of home and die there. It's a wonderful place to be, but I want to do more. I'm a pretty aggressive guy. And I became friends with an AdMobilize client who I knew for many years, but didn't know very well, Hussein Kadar at the Neuron. Mm-hmm. I saw Hussein during the week, didn't recognize him because we all had masks on. Not only did I not recognize him, he's so soft-spoken, he's such a gentleman that I couldn't understand what company he worked for through his mask. I said, what? And finally they said, "Oh, you can take your masks off. You're inside now, you're okay." And he get Neuron. I go, "Oh, I remember you. I know who you are." So we spent a lot of time with each other, but most importantly, we spent a lot of time that Thursday. We sat next to each other at your event. And I said, "Look, if you ever decide to really make a move here in the States, let me know. You're my friend. You're kind of a client of my clients. I'm happy to help you out. I want to see you grow." And that's how we got together by early January. I had mentioned to him and given him a lot of suggestions on who he should talk to about a position here. And at the end of the conversation, I said, "Now, if you can't find the right person, I'll do it. I'll get you started. I know as many people as anybody else does. I love what you're doing. I really want to grow in this field. Yeah, heck, I'll take a step." I didn't think he'd take me seriously, and he did. And within a day, I came to an arrangement with him, and I am now the U.S. sales director for the Neuron. I still write my weekly column for Out of Home Today. I still do a little bit of friendly consulting with non-competitive companies, and I try and stay as involved as possible. I've developed a great relationship with you and your group, so that's where I'm at.
Well, that's good. Well, if anybody knows Hussein from Jordan, he'll know that he is as you say, he's a gentleman, softly spoken, very serious about the industry. Does a lot of things. He's traveled probably to more of our AdTECH events around the world than anybody else. Yes. I mean, that's why you would have met him in New York, and we've had him in Amsterdam on the stage. We've had him in London. We've seen him, I think, as far, I think he's been to Sydney, but yeah, his focus at the moment is Europe and the UK. But now with you on board, they're looking seriously at North America. Well, that's good. So that's great, and you've been a great help to us, really, as a sounding board. I think we're probably quite similar in being cynical sometimes, or sarcastic, maybe. Cynical, I like to use the word. So we've announced that we've got these events coming up in Miami.
Right.
In fact, in the next month, we've got next 2 months, we've got Miami first, then we've got Toronto, Canada, and then New York later in the year, and then Los Angeles later in the year. So you said some nice things about us on social media. What's your thoughts about branching out to places like Miami or LA for our space?
I think it's very important. Miami has become an incredible tech city. Again, I know that because of my client, AdMobilize, being based there. I got to know the editorial writers in the area. I got to know their parent company, Rocker 3, and see what they are up to, who they are related to and branched out to. It doesn't necessarily mean digital signage, but the tech community in Miami has it's grown, has incredible growth. It's very, the government, the local municipality, the mayor in Miami, very friendly towards new tech, new businesses, the new tech areas that have developed. So I think you're in a perfect position to start having your days down there.
What are the so we've had some conversations with the mayor, and you're right, spot on with the technology. They initially said that Miami Tech Week was going to be April the 17th onwards, I think. It's now turned into a Miami Tech Month, which I don't really get that. As you know, we do New York Digital Signage Week and London Digital Signage Week. Right. 5 days of concentrated events is probably enough, but our event is April the 20th. Who are the sort of the big media owners there that we should be taking note of in the Miami area?
Well, I work, back from 2001 till 2012, I worked for Clear Channel Outdoor. I placed a lot of business in the Miami area. I exported a lot of advertisers, and so I got to be in Miami a lot. Then when I became a media buyer, I bought a lot of media down there. Clear Channel and Outfront are the predominant companies. There are some, there's some nice local billboard companies we're talking about. They don't have that big of a transit hub yet. It's, they have a little bit of transit, but it's really not a transit city. Everyone drives. They have some wonderful big units all over the market. But digital has started to integrate. You're starting to see some really innovative stuff inside buildings, outside buildings, in the windows. Miami is like it was in the mid 80s with Miami Vice. It showed all the style, and combined style with tech and the modeling world and entertainment. It's perfect for digital signage. It just blends in so well.
We've had a couple of conversations with LED providers. Some of them you probably know or have worked with in the past, who've pretty much, I think one of them actually relocated from New York during the COVID to be in Miami. And the amount of business they're getting cladding buildings, and with all the new buildings that are going up, is absolutely huge. Right.
They're not building too many new traditional, as we call them, billboards, out-of-home media in that market. Zoning, leasing them out. No, you're not getting too many new. If anything, they're replacing traditional with digital. But what you are getting is huge amount of digital displays, all sorts of different screens going inside buildings, outside buildings, inside vehicles, inside Ubers, in the bathrooms, you name it. They are showing up. They are populating at a huge rate of expansion.
Well, that's good to know. And also, we've got LA coming up. So our LA event will be supported by the OAAA. Will be in November, probably the week before Thanksgiving as well. So LA is another market that I think you suggested we focus on.
So in Los Angeles, I had some clients based out in California during the last year. I got to know the market well. And what you're seeing is there's a lot of digital agencies and a lot of traditional advertising agencies that are focusing on digital screens. Why? Because they're handling a lot of cannabis. cannabis and programmatic go hand in hand, because
interesting.
You can change the copy on the screen whenever you want. You can target with programmatic, you know exactly what neighborhoods you can be in or what you can't be in. You're not going to be next to a kindergarten class. You know, you're going to be in certain areas that allow CBD and or cannabis. California is a great state for that. So that's not me. Hold on a second. I apologize. So it's a lot of the agencies out there go after the cannabis business. They usually pay, I don't want to get into their business, but they usually pay up front.
Okay.
Because the out-of-home companies want the payment up front. You have the entertainment industry. So for our livelihood, or especially my new livelihood of digital outdoor, California is a very friendly place and a wonderful place for you to have a day there.
Good. Okay. Well, thanks for that. That's good. You've been a good sounding board for a good 6 or 7 months now on this. So we always knew that New York would be the heart of our stuff, but we always figure out that there's a lot of different regions and communities in North America, which leads me to the fact that, of course, if you look at our agenda for AdTech Miami, there's, surprise, surprise, a distinctive Latin American flavor to the agenda. We've got lots of people from Havas and Mercado Libre, and I think there's some people from Sony on a panel discussion. Some of the conversations or the panel titles are things like, you know, what is digital out of home like in Latin America? We've got Ari Buchalter. I think I pronounce his Buchalter, Ari, who we all know. I think you've known Ari for some time. He's
from Intersection on into Place Exchange. He has really been very much seen in the last couple of years. You know, organizations such as yourselves, DPAA. He really shows up. He's shown up a lot lately, which is terrific because he's a smart guy, and it's great to have him exchange ideas. Yeah.
Well, he's one of the only, in our industry, he's one of the only people who could legitimately be called a rocket scientist, because he is a rocket scientist. Ari from Place Exchange is doing our keynote, and he's going to talk a little bit, a lot, hopefully, about the LATAM market. And you may have seen recently that Place Exchange announced a deal with Clear Channel Latin America. So we want to understand from him why they're placing such a big bet on the Latin American market. We've got another Place Exchange executive, Austin Avalos, and many of my viewers will know Jose Avalos from Intel, of course, who's been doing lots of work with the DPAA in this space. Austin is his son, and he's sharing a panel on what's driving digital out-of-home adoption in Latin America. I'm reading that from the screen here, and that's with a Clear Channel Latin America guy and a guy called Luis Braz, who is the senior director, head of global strategy at Yahoo. We get, because Stephanie Gutnick is once again chairing our conference, who's the head of global digital out of home at Yahoo. We obviously get lots of support from Yahoo, and that's good because they bring great clients along on the day. And then we've got another panel discussion from View, who are doing lots of work. So we were hoping to get JC Conti, the CEO, but I think there was a traveling conflict with there. But we've got a couple of people from their New York office coming down to do that as well. So it should be quite a good day. Oh, and we've also got, obviously, Hivestack are doing huge amounts of things in Latin America. We've got their VP of Demand Mexico, Carla Del Val, I can't remember with these names, Carla Del Val, coming up from Mexico to do a fireside chat with someone. So we're looking for that to be a pretty good day, I think.
Yeah, you know, the Miami tech scene has been a great jumping off spot for Mexico, Central America, and South America, where they're a little bit more technically advanced than we are here in the United States. Similar to overseas, like the Middle East and Europe and the Far East, they allow tech to develop faster and to use it faster. They don't have to jump through a lot of the hoops that we do here in the United States due to zoning regulations and licensing. You go into those markets and you'll see things you don't see here. So Miami is a great place to be based, to get American clients to look at south of the border, as we say, because it's really amazing what's there.
That's good to know. I think Infocom, which is like obviously an AV event, when it is held 1 year in Vegas, 1 year in Orlando,
Right.
When it is in Florida, you get a much more Latin American feel. You get a lot more Latin American people flying in for the event. We're hoping that Miami will be the similar for what we're trying to do.
Well, I remember years past, prior to 2020, digital signage expos in Las Vegas, the amount of Latin flavor from Latin countries was a big presence.
Yeah, well, and you're right.
People we worked with, for my clients that were there, AdMobilize, they all spoke Spanish fluently, and they were one of the few booths that could really entertain, sell their product, talk about the industry.
Yeah. Well, Rodolfo was Brazilian, so he spoke Portuguese and Spanish, I think. Didn't he?
He was a rare duck like that. Yes.
Yeah. No, that was good. Yeah, we've got the support of DS Latam, Digital Signage Latam, which is a sister association of the Digital Signage Federation, and ALOOH, I think I pronounced probably ALOOH, which is the Latin American Out of Home Association as well. So they'll be sending people and promoting the event as well. We'll see you there. You haven't got very far to travel from New Jersey down to Miami.
I'm very excited. That was a market, like I said, I've done a lot of business in. I know a lot of the players, and it's just a wonderful place to visit and do business in. I'm looking forward to it.
Brilliant. And of course, just to wrap up quickly, we've got an event in New York Digital Signage Week has been announced. It's October the 11th, week of. I think you're talking to our chairman of our events to potentially speak in New York at the AdTECH conference.
Yes. However, I could be an asset. I always say my goal is to both make a point about what it is I'm discussing and also be a little bit entertaining. So people don't get fidgety in their seats.
Yeah, well, if we just canned your tweets, you'd be entertaining, so that would work.
Thank God, I'll try that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then of course we got LA the week before Thanksgiving in November, which is a bit further afield for you. But if you want some sun from New Jersey,
I'll probably be anything in the United States and probably Toronto. You'll see me there.
Okay, good. Yeah, Toronto is confirmed now for May.
Another big tech hub. I mean, it's just a great place to be doing this.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Nick, thank you for your time today on the call. Thanks for your help in helping us decide which cities to be in, because that was the big decision. Sure. We had all sorts of internal debates about San Francisco versus LA, and everybody pretty much prompt for LA, which is what Silicon Beach, I think. We'd looked at Utah in the past, but I think we made the right decision with Miami. So hopefully I can finish the call by saying the AdTECH Out of Home Miami conference, chaired by Stephanie Gutnick from Yahoo, is on April the 20th in Miami, so downtown near Brickell Lane. Nick, thank you for your time and for
my pleasure. Thank you.